lot of people that we speak to dozens of people every single week who are wanting to grow their real estate investing company, whether that's wholesaling, house flipping, buy and hold investments, you name it. We talk to dozens of people every single week who are looking to get help growing their real estate investing company. And one of the most common objections that I hear as far as like why they can't grow, or one of the most common challenges that I hear on why people are having trouble growing their business is they feel like they've got a problem bringing in leads. They feel like they have a marketing issue and that may be true for a lot of people. A lot of people may actually have a marketing issue, and that's what most people think is their issue. But the reality is, when we start diving into people's businesses, when we start diving into our clients' businesses, we start diving into their KPIs, a lot of people actually don't have a marketing issue. A lot of people don't have a marketing issue. They've got a conversion issue. So there's 3 components that I want to focus on today that will help you to double your conversion rate on leads that are coming into your business. So after the lead comes in, what happens after it? So the first component, and I'm actually going to share my screen, is you've got leads coming in. Maybe it's a direct mail lead, maybe it's a cold calling lead that comes in, or an SMS lead. Let's just say, so first situation is we've got leads that come in, and sometimes we have leads that come in where we can't get a hold of that person. Raise your hand, drop a comment in the comment section if you've ever had a lead that came in from your cold caller. You get that lead form submitted to you, and it seems like a great lead, and you never get a hold of them. How many of you have ever had that happen to you? So in this situation, you can see a massive increase in your conversion rate just by applying this one thing I'm about to show you right here. So there's 3 components that I'm going to show you today. First component is lead follow-up sequence, lead follow-up schedule. After the lead form comes in, after it's submitted to your team, your company, you as the acquisition rep, how are you following up with that lead in order to get the appointment set? That's the first component. Second component is what we call a pre-appointment call. The pre-appointment call will help you tremendously when it comes to converting your leads. Third component is the re-offer. This is a technique that we call a re-offer. And when you combine all 3 of these, this is absolutely, if you combine this, if you aren't applying these things, it will guaranteed increase your conversion rate, could absolutely double your conversion rate on the leads that are coming into your business. So we're going to go into the first component here. The first component is a follow-up sequence that you follow in order to get an appointment set. So that's the first component. We're talking about following up with leads in order to actually get on an appointment with them or have a phone appointment with them. So I'm going to share my screen here. And what I'm showing you is a lead follow-up sequence. So this is our follow-up schedule. Most people don't have a set sequence that they are following. And if you implement something like this, I guarantee you will have a leg up on your competition who's not implementing this. So this is a sequence that is to be applied for leads that come in and you're trying to get an appointment set with them. So here's a situation. You have a cold caller, you've got a VA that's dialing for you, and they send over their lead forms every single day. Now you go to follow up with that person and you're trying to get an appointment scheduled with that person. So when you're following up with that person, you guys know, if you've ever followed up with leads that are coming in from a cold caller, it's hard to get a hold of those people. It's not easy to get a hold of those people after the lead form comes in from the cold caller. It's a challenge. So you have to be way more aggressive on the follow-up than you think is required. The second component is what we call a pre-appointment phone call. So after we actually get a hold of the lead and we are trying to schedule an appointment, we will agree on an appointment time. So we get a confirmation that we are going to, we do a lot of in-person appointments. We do some virtual as well. If you're virtual, the same principle applies. We try to apply most of the principles for an in-person appointment that we do on virtual appointments as well, because every single property that we get under contract, we act as if we are actually going to buy that property. Because in reality, we might buy it and wholesale it. We might buy it and flip it. Most of the time we're wholesaling. We do probably 80 to 90% of our transactions are wholesale transactions, but we do wholesale and we do flip and we do buy rental properties occasionally as well. So we actually are looking at every single property as if we are going to buy it. Now, most wholesalers don't do that. And that's the issue. That's one of the biggest issues in our industry that completely taints our industry, is that most wholesalers do not actually evaluate a property as if they are going to buy it. And it causes a massive, massive issue inside of our industry. And honestly, it's hurting you as a wholesaler if you're operating that way. So the way that I describe a pre-appointment phone call is like, what we want to actually set the stage that we are going to purchase this property, and how are we going to behave if we're going to actually follow through and purchase this property. So when we establish that, yes, we're going to come out and view this property. If you're doing virtual, yes, we are going to schedule a time where you're going to send us pictures, you're going to send us videos. We're going to make you a formal offer on this property. And in order to make you a formal offer, there is information that we need from you in order to make that offer. So the pre-appointment phone call is to gauge the level of motivation, honestly. Third thing is the re-offer. You've got to establish enough rapport with them to get them to consider you last, consider you as the last offer. And how we do that is we always establish, if we're not moving forward right then, if we're not signing the contract right then and there, we establish absolutely, and we tie down clearly when we are going to communicate with that person next, so that we can do a re-offer if we need to. And the re-offer is coming back, evaluating the situation with where they're at right then. Maybe they spoke to other people. Maybe they had other people come to make offers on the house. If for some reason we're not able to sign the contract on the first appointment, we establish when they are going to communicate with us next so that we can do a re-offer if need be. And sometimes they just got to speak to a spouse. Sometimes they got to speak to a grandma. You know, there's all kinds of situations why the person may not sign the contract on the first appointment. But regardless of when you speak to them, after you in that appointment, you've got to establish when you're going to communicate with them next. So those are the three things, guys. I guarantee you, if you apply those, you could potentially double your current conversion rate. You may be able to even get a higher than double of what you're doing right now as far as conversion rate, because most people, I work with dozens of people around the country. Most people are not doing this kind of stuff whenever they start working with us. So if you apply these things, guys, go out, implement, take action on these things and see what happens in your business. So that's what I've got for you today. Take this information, go out and apply it. And I want to open it up for any questions that anybody has. So if you have any questions about anything that we discussed when it comes to leads coming in, converting leads into more contracts in your business, post your questions in the comment section below. And if you're sitting here listening to this and you're like, man, this sounds awesome. This sounds like something I definitely need to implement, but I want more structure. I want a better framework to where I can just plug and play and follow it. Go to gamechangerscall.com. You can schedule a call with our team. And guys, we help people implement these exact systems into their businesses every single day. Every single day. We've got clients that we work with. We literally dive into your business with you. We are as hands-on of a coaching company as you will see in the industry. I actually stand by that. And if you're looking for help implementing systems like this, go to gamechangerscall.com and we will help you implement these into your business so that you don't have to do any guesswork on them.